Good evening, and welcome again to Pumping Up with Hans and Franz, the informative training program for achieving financial success.
Once again, I am Hans.
And I am Franz, and we just want to pump
you up.
Hey, how you doing? Hans Schaff here, the real Hans, and I wanted to come to you kind of late night here. My wife and I were having a discussion this evening about the true cost of things. You know, you've got to understand, you've got to know the true cost of what something really costs. So let's give an example. Okay, so if you're buying a house, right, or just you're buying any item at all, but let's use a house as a good example. If you're buying a house, you've got to know the true cost of that house. It's not just the monthly payment, because more often than not, if you're getting a mortgage, which, and I'll tell you in a second here, Kiyosaki defined this, the word mortir is to die. And so mortgage literally means to make payments until you die, right? So keep that in mind next time you think getting a mortgage is a good idea, right? Keep that in mind. A 30-year mortgage, what exactly are you getting yourself into, right? But that's what people don't realize. They think, they just want to know, what's the monthly payment? What's the monthly financial cost of this situation? But if you're financing something, you've got to understand there is more than just a financial cost, because you're financing it for a reason. You're financing it because you probably don't have that cash lying around. So what is the cost of the cash what is it going to cost you to create the cash to be able to make that payment every single month going forward for 30 years? And here's another thing that you don't realize. When you're buying a $100,000 house, for example, you're not actually paying $100,000. Over a 30-year loan, you're going to pay something like $450,000, right? And you thought you were just buying a great deal, a $100,000 house. So, there's so many different costs involved. You don't just look at the calories. You got to look at the protein, the carbs, the sugars, the fiber. You got to understand all those variables. You got to understand the true cost. What is it that you're trading in exchange for whatever it is that you're buying? It's more than just a financial cost. You got to understand, what's the impact on your health going to be? What's the impact on your mental state going to be? What is the cost on your physical, on your happiness? What is the ability on your physical life? Is it going to take years away from your life? I mean, so many different examples here. For example, if you were to buy a TV, say you got this great new TV, right? 60-inch TV, HD, 3D, all these amazing things, right? $1,000. Wow, you got it. You put it on the wall. You think, my only cost is $1,000. I'm not going to finance it. I'm going to pay it in cash. That's all I got to pay for it. Well, no. The average person watches 5 hours of TV every single day. Okay, 5 into 24, you're looking at about 1/5, about 20% of your life spent in front of that new $1,000 device. So what's the real cost? What's the true cost of that new TV set that you bought? It's not just $1,000. That may be the initial financial cost. But what is the cost in your life? How long is it going to take you after watching 5 hours of TV to unwind from that, right? Because you're watching TV for entertainment, right? So you maybe to separate your conscious mind from what is going on unconsciously in your mind. Maybe you're looking to escape. So so while you're hypnotized for 5 hours, how much time is it going to take for your body, your mind, to be able to recuperate from that and actually unwind as it really needs to do? For you to do some meditation, or just to be in a quiet place so your mind can actually figure out all these things that are going on, all these distractions and bombardments that you keep throwing at it with the TV commercials and all the drama, and all the BS that goes on, right? Your mind doesn't need more distractions. You need more focus. You need less things going on in your life, right? So what is the actual true cost of getting a $1,000 TV? It's a lot more than just $1,000. There is a cost on your physical well-being, because those 5 hours, you're just sitting there on the couch. You could be outside exercising. What is the cost that you're trading in exchange for that TV? Smoking is another good example we were just talking about. Smoking, they sold it back in the day. Oh, it's such a cool thing. We just get this cancer stick, and you smoke it. Oh, you're so cool. Oh man, you are so sexy. You've got that cigarette between your lips, right? And what is it actually doing to you? Oh, it only costs $1 a pack, $2 a pack, whatever it was back in the day. And or even you're in the military, it was free, right? Oh, it's such a cool thing. Just here's a distraction, again, like the TV, right? Here, just join the military. You don't need to eat. Just here, have a couple smokes, and just when you're not thinking about what you're doing, just go ahead and have a smoke. Have a smoke. Everything will be fine. You'll be cool. Life will be great, and you'll be happy. And of course, you get hooked. You're addicted to it, right? It's nicotine. It's cancer. And what's the real cost on your life? Now you can't quit, even if you wanted to, because it's so difficult to quit. You have to hypnotize yourself or go to some extreme, hardships in order to be able to quit smoking, because it's such an addictive substance, the nicotine. Then what's the toll on your physical self? on your body, right? I mean, not to mention all the chemicals going on in your brain and everything else, but your lungs, the heart disease, all the connected diseases and stuff. There is a true cost. It's more than just the $1, $5, $10 a pack, whatever it costs for cigarettes these days. There is a real cost, which is more than just the financial cost. Now here's the big picture I want to kind of bring it to you. So many people, right, talking about the same situation, knowing the full cost, right? Let's talk about a job. Let's talk about earning income, because the same thing applies here. Just because you may be thinking, oh, I've got a great salary, I make 6 figures a year, I've got a nice house, I've got 2 cars, I get to go on vacation, well, let's ask a few more questions here. What is the real cost, right? Now, if you don't love your job, if you don't go there, even if they didn't pay you, if you didn't have to provide for your family and you didn't have to buy things and things, if you weren't struggling and if you were actually happy at your job and living the life that you wanted and could work there the rest of your life and couldn't be happier than where you are now, right? Let's look at that situation there. So, you go to work every single day, right? And you're basically working just to pay the mortgage. You got this beautiful house, and if you don't keep going to work, you're going to lose that house. So you've got this bad association with your house, perhaps, and the cars and the boat and everything else that you've got, thinking that you have to just get paid a little bit more. If you could just make another $1,000, another $2,000 per month, you'd be making enough and everything would be great, right? But what happens? You make that $1,000 raise, that $2,000 increment, and all of a sudden you find another $1,000 in expenses go up, another $2,000. All of a sudden that money's gone. Now you need another $2,000. Now it's $3,000 you have to make each month, and this cycle just perpetuates itself. We were sold, back when we were young in school, that the greatest thing to do is from age 5, right, 18 years to learn how to, or 12 years in school rather, to learn how to become a good employee. And then you go to school, and you get into a bunch of college debt, and now you're really in a situation you have to earn some money. So what do? You get into a job. Now you've got a job, and you think, hey, I'm in a good situation. I'm making a little bit of money. Well, what's the best thing I could do? Let's go out there and buy a big house. Let's spend it all right away, right? You're focused again on the promise. You're not focused on the true cost. You're focused on just the initial cost. You're thinking, my payments are only $800 a month. $800 a month, I can afford that. You know what? Let's get a bigger house. Let's go to $2,000 a month. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a stretch, but you rationalize to yourself, I'll make more money, yada yada. You're not thinking the big picture. You're not looking down the road. You're not thinking about the true cost of what it's going to take to come up with that $2,000 per month going forward for the next 30 years of your life. That was my wife turning the light off on me. This is real. This is live. So anyway, you got to understand the real true cost, because I guarantee you, to live a happy, wonderful life, abundant life, it doesn't cost as much as nearly as you think it otherwise might. You could be living on the beach for $5,000 a month and live a very happy, simple, easy life, right? And that's what I'm talking about here. That's what I want to talk about, is the freedom lifestyle. Imagine living in a world where you no longer had to even think about, let alone worry about, your expenses going out each month. Imagine how much more freeing that would be. It's not a certain dollar amount, like I have to be making at least $200,000 a year. Scraping and grinding in a way and doing everything you possibly can just to make that income amount. Why? Just so you can spend it? I mean, what's the point of that? Why work so hard just so you can go spend that money and get into a bunch more debt, so you have to figure out a way to make more money next week, right? I mean, that's just a crazy situation. Wouldn't it just be better to be able to make some money so you could live free,